Drowning in CompTIA A plus Core 1 study material? We've got your lifeline. In just 2 hours, we'll simplify the essentials and reveal the top 5 pitfalls that trip up most candidates. But that's not all. We've dedicated countless hours to breaking down all 28 objectives into bite-sized, easily digestible segments just for you. From mastering mobile devices to acing troubleshooting questions, we've left no stone unturned. Whether you're looking to reinforce your knowledge or identify gaps, this crash course is your secret weapon. Let's dive in and transform your study game. Let's kick off with the first objective on mobile device hardware installation and configuration. Mastering power management. Laptops rely on batteries and AC adapters for power. Troubleshoot power issues by systematically checking the entire chain, connections, and using the correct adapter for your specific model. Battery life can be impacted by discharge cycles and extreme temperatures. Consider replacing batteries when they reach their lifespan. In rare cases, a residual voltage issue might prevent the laptop from turning on. Discharge the motherboard by removing the power cord, battery, and holding the power button for 30 seconds. Keyboards and touchpads. Laptop keyboards are smaller than their desktop counterparts and often have function FN keys for secondary actions like volume control or brightness. Stuck keys can be caused by dirt, spills, or overuse. Clean them or replace the keyboard, following proper ESD prevention measures to avoid damaging other components. Touchpads are the primary pointing device on laptops. If you experience cursor drift, try updating drivers, disabling the touchpad, or checking settings within the operating system. Memory makeover. Upgrading RAM, random access memory, or RAM allows your laptop to run programs smoothly. To upgrade RAM, use compatible SODIMM DDR3 or DDR4 modules, ensuring proper orientation and reseating them if necessary. Clean memory contacts to address boot issues indicated by continuous beeps. Storage solutions, SSDs, HDDs, and hybrids. Laptops use various storage drives, including traditional hard disk drives, HDDs, faster solid-state drives, SSDs, and a combination of both, hybrid drives. Upgrading to an SSD can significantly improve performance. When replacing storage drives, access them from the designated location and use anti-static measures to prevent damage. Wired and wireless communication connections. Laptops connect to networks through wired Ethernet ports and wireless Wi-Fi adapters. Wireless functionality can be managed using dedicated buttons or FN key combinations. Cellular BDUN modules provide mobile data connectivity and can be internal or added through M2 cards. Physical security. Cable locks provide a physical barrier against theft. Biometric readers like fingerprint scanners offer an additional layer of security. Near-field communication, NFC, can be convenient for sharing data but can pose a security risk. Disable NFC when not in use. Let's dive into the display components that bring mobile devices to life. Display showdown, LCD versus OLED. LCD liquid crystal display, the classic. It uses a backlight and liquid crystals to create an image. Common LCD types include TN, twisted pneumatic. Affordable but has limited viewing angles and color accuracy. IPS, in plane switching, offers superior viewing angles and color reproduction. VA, vertical alignment. Known for deep blacks and high contrast, but may have slower response times. OLED, organic light emitting diode, the new star. Each pixel generates its own light, resulting in superior black levels, perfect for dark environments and HDR content, thinner and lighter displays, ideal for sleek mobile devices, faster response times, great for gaming and fast-paced applications. Behind the scenes, backlight and inverter, LCD only. Backlight provides the light source for LCD displays. Worn-out backlights lead to dimness or color shifts. Inverter, DC to AC converter. Powers the backlight in older LCDs. Modern LCDs often integrate this functionality. Touch It, exploring touchscreens and digitizers. Touchscreens, the touch-sensitive layer that responds to your finger or stylus. Digitizers, the brains behind the touch. They convert analog touch data into digital signals for the operating system. Communicate clearly, webcams and microphones. Webcams capture images and videos, often built in above the display. Microphones record audio for calls and voice commands. Both webcams and microphones can be disabled for security. Wi-Fi on the go, internal versus external antennas. Internal M2 or mini PCIe cards provide a sleek built-in solution for Wi-Fi connectivity. External USB or RJ45 adapters offer flexibility and potential for stronger reception. USB adapters are less common nowadays. Wi-Fi standards, i.e. 802.11, like languages for Wi-Fi communication, with newer standards, AC, offering faster speeds and improved efficiency. Every device has a unique Wi-Fi signature. The MAC address identifies your device on a network. Unlocking the potential of mobile devices, mastering accessories and ports. Imagine needing to connect your mobile device to a printer, project on a big screen, or share its internet connection. That's where accessories and ports come in. Let's explore the different ways to expand your mobile device's functionality. Wired connections, a classic touch. Universal serial bus, USB, the king of wired connections. Android devices use USB-C, older ones use micro USB, while iPhones and iPads mostly use Lightning connectors. USB-C, the latest and greatest, supports faster charging and data transfer compared to older USB standards. Other wired connections, while less common, mini USB and serial interfaces, RS-232, might be used for specialized tasks. USB tethering. Turn your smartphone or tablet into a Wi-Fi hotspot by connecting it to a PC via a USB cable and sharing your mobile data connection. Cutting the cord, going wireless. Bluetooth, connect to a world of possibilities. From wearables to speakers, Bluetooth allows wireless communication within a short range, around 33 feet. Mobile hotspot. Share your mobile data connection wirelessly with laptops, tablets, and other devices using your smartphone or a dedicated mobile hotspot device. Near-field communication, NFC. Tap to connect. NFC enables short-range communication for contactless payments and data transfer between compatible devices. Power up your productivity with accessories. Mobile devices are more than just phones. They can be productivity powerhouses with the right accessories. Protection essentials, cases, screen protectors, and waterproofing solutions keep your device safe. Storage expansion. Add more storage with a micro SD card. Capacities can reach 1 terabyte nowadays. Audio options. Enhance your audio experience with headsets, earbuds, portable speakers, or 3.5 mm audio cables for car radios and other devices. Wireless charging. Convenience at its finest. Charge your device without cables using a wireless charging pad. Touch pen. Precision stylus pens with pressure sensitivity and palm rejection offer improved accuracy for drawing and note-taking. Docking stations and port replicators. Desktop power. Docking stations transform your laptop into a desktop powerhouse. These provide additional ports, charging capabilities, and sometimes even extra storage drives. Port replicators. Similar to docking stations, they focus on expanding your connectivity options with additional ports. Thunderbolt docking stations, top-of-the-line options offering high-speed data transfer and support for multiple 4K displays. Beyond the basics, drawing pads and trackpads. Drawing pads. Take your creativity to the next level with a pressure-sensitive drawing pad designed for precise stylus input. Trackpads, external touchpads. Larger versions of a laptop's touchpad connected via USB or Bluetooth, offering additional control options. Remember, IP ratings, like IP68, indicate a device's resistance to dust and water. Consider this when choosing accessories for harsh environments. Biode, bring your own device to environments. Some workplaces might limit compatible accessories to ensure security and functionality. Keeping your mobile device connected, mastering networks, apps, and more. Mobile devices are lifelines for communication, entertainment, and productivity. But how do you ensure they can connect to the world and run the apps you need? Let's dive into configuring basic mobile device network connectivity and application support, unleashing the power of wireless data. Cellular data, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, your ticket to mobile internet. 2G is the slowest but most widely available, while 5G offers blazing fast speeds. Coverage might be limited in some areas. Mobile hotspot, turn your smartphone into a Wi-Fi hub. Share your mobile data connection with other devices when needed. Remember to use a strong WPA2/WPA3 password for security. Understanding networks, GSM versus CDMA. These are technical terms for cellular network technologies. While not crucial for everyday use, knowing your network type can help troubleshoot connectivity issues with your carrier. Preferred roaming list, PRL, updates. These updates ensure your device connects to the strongest available cell tower, even when roaming. Bluetooth, connecting without wires. Pairing up, enable Bluetooth on both devices and follow the on-screen instructions to establish a connection. Some devices require a PIN code for verification. Testing the connection. Once paired, ensure the Bluetooth connection works as intended, whether for audio streaming, hands-free calling, or other functions. Bluetooth versions. Like with Wi-Fi, newer Bluetooth versions, like 5.0, offer improvements in range, speed, and power consumption. Troubleshooting tips. Facing pairing failures? Check if both devices are charged and discoverable. Restarting the devices can often resolve minor issues. Location services. Knowing your place in the world. GPS and cellular. Location. These technologies allow apps to determine your location. You can choose the level of accuracy, balancing battery life with precise positioning. Privacy considerations. Enabling location services can be convenient, but be mindful of apps that might be accessing your location data. Geofencing, location-based actions. Geofencing allows apps to trigger actions based on your location. For instance, a fitness app could remind you to go for a run when you enter a park. Mobile applications, powering your productivity. Corporate email setup. Many businesses use services like Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace for email and collaboration. The configuration process involves entering the correct credentials and security settings. Two-factor authentication, 2FA, an extra layer of security for your email and other apps. After entering your password, you might be prompted to enter a code from your phone or another device. Data synchronization. Keep your data in sync across multiple devices. Popular choices include Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, and iCloud. Choose the service compatible with your apps and needs. Mobile device management, MDM, and mobile application management, MAM. These might sound complicated, but they simplify things for businesses. MDM allows IT administrators to manage and secure company-owned devices. They can configure settings, restrict access to unauthorized apps, and enforce security policies. MAM focuses on managing applications used for work purposes. It can ensure these apps are up to date, secure, and compliant with company policies. Demystifying network traffic, unveiling the secrets of ports and protocols. Imagine a bustling city with designated routes and protocols for different types of vehicles. Networks function similarly, using ports and protocols to manage the flow of data. Let's explore the differences between TCP and UDP, the workhorses of network communication, and unveil the common ports and protocols that keep your data moving. The mighty messengers, TCP versus UDP. Think of these as the delivery methods for your data packets. TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, the reliable delivery guy. TCP establishes a connection, checks for errors, and resends lost packets, ensuring your data arrives complete and in order. This method is ideal for critical tasks like web browsing, HTTPS, and file transfers, SSH. UDP, User Datagram Protocol, the speedy courier. UDP prioritizes speed over reliability. It sends data packets without establishing a connection and doesn't bother retransmitting lost ones. This makes it perfect for streaming media, where slight delays are acceptable, and real-time applications, like online gaming. Port authority, keeping traffic flowing smoothly. Think of ports as numbered gates that direct incoming and outgoing traffic on a network. Here are some commonly encountered ports and the protocols they work with. Web browsing, HTTP, port 80. the foundation of web communication. HTTPS, port 443. The secure version of HTTP encrypts data with SSL and TLS for safe browsing. Email, SMTP, port 25. Sends emails, often uses secure ports 465 or 587. POP3, port 110, secure 995. Downloads emails to your device. IMAP, port 143, secure 993. Keeps emails synchronized across devices, allowing access from anywhere. File transfer, FTP, port 21, secure 989, 990. Transfers files between computers. SFTP uses SSH port 22. Secure file transfer using SSH for encryption. TFTP, connectionless, uses various ports. A simpler option for basic file transfers, often used for configuration files. Remote access, SAH, port 22. Provides secure remote control and encrypted data transfer. Telnet, port 23. Insecure and deprecated. Avoid using it. Networking essentials. DHCP, server port 67, client port 68. Assigns IP addresses to devices on the network. Uses UDP. DNS, port 53. Translates domain names into IP addresses for web browsing. LDAP, port 389, secure 636. Manages directory services such as Active Directory. RDP, port 3389, enables remote desktop connections for remote assistance. SMBCIFS, port 445, allows file and printer sharing on a network. SNMP, port 161, traps use 162, used for managing network devices. Legacy protocols, NetBIOS, NetBT, ports 137, 139. An older protocol used with SMB. Remember, port numbers help differentiate between different types of network traffic. Secure versions of protocols like HTTPS and SFTP encrypt data for added protection. The networking orchestra, understanding essential hardware. Imagine a bustling office with data flowing like music. Just like an orchestra needs different instruments to create beautiful melodies, networks rely on various hardware components to ensure smooth communication. Let's explore these essential networking devices and understand their roles in keeping your data moving. The conductors, switches and routers. Switches, the intelligent traffic directors. They connect wired devices like computers and printers, learning their unique MAC addresses and directing data packets efficiently. Managed switches offer more configuration options, while unmanaged switches are plug-and-play for basic networks. Routers, the network crossroads. They connect multiple networks, like your home network and the internet, and route data packets based on their IP addresses. Think of them as decision makers, ensuring data reaches the intended destination on the correct network. The wireless crew, access points and network interface cards, NICs. Wireless access points, WAPs, the Wi-Fi hubs. These devices act as central connection points for wireless devices by creating a Wi-Fi network, often using 2.4 GHz, 5 GHz, or 6 GHz frequencies. Imagine them as invisible bridges connecting your laptop, smartphone, or tablet to the wired network. Network interface cards, NICs, the communication gateways. These are physical cards installed in computers or networking devices, allowing them to connect to a network. Most modern laptops and PCs have built-in NX, while servers might require separate high-performance NICs for heavy network traffic. The protectors and power suppliers. Firewalls, the digital security guards. These hardware appliances or software applications act as shields, protecting your network from unauthorized access and malicious attacks. In smaller networks, router functionality often includes a basic firewall, while larger organizations might deploy dedicated firewalls for enhanced security. Power over Ethernet, PoE, a double-duty technology. PoE allows network cables to carry both electrical power and data simultaneously. This eliminates the need for separate power outlets for certain devices, simplifying installation and cable management. PoE devices come in two flavors: power sourcing equipment, PSE, that supplies power, and powered devices, PD, that receive power and data over the same cable. The legacy and management tools, hubs. the networking veterans, mostly retired. Hubs were the original network connection points, but they're largely obsolete. Unlike switches, they broadcast data to all connected devices, creating congestion and inefficiency. Patch panels, the hidden organizers. These panels provide termination points for network cables in a building or server room. They have RJ45 ports on the front for connecting cables and punch-down blocks, 110 IDC on the back for terminating cable wires. Cable, DSL modems, the internet gateways. These devices connect your home or small office network to the internet service provider's network. Cable modems use coaxial cables, while DSL modems use telephone lines. Both connect to your devices using standard RJ45 Ethernet cables. Network interface devices, NIDs, the connection points. These devices, like optical network terminals or ONTs, are installed by the service provider at the customer's premises. They act as the demarcation point between the provider's network and the customer's internal cabling. Software-defined networking, SDN. The future of networking? SDN is a centralized networking management approach that separates data transmission from device administration. Imagine a central control system managing network switches and routers, allowing for flexible and automated network configuration. Unleashing the power of wireless, demystifying protocols and frequencies. Wireless networks have revolutionized the way we connect. But have you ever wondered how these invisible connections work? Let's delve into the world of wireless networking protocols, frequencies, and explore a few additional technologies that leverage radio waves for data transmission. The Spectrum Symphony, frequencies and channels. Imagine a crowded highway. Wireless networks utilize radio frequencies like lanes on this highway, with different protocols operating at specific frequencies. 2.4 gigahertz, the older, more congested lane. It offers wider range but slower speeds. Think of rush hour traffic. This band has 11 channels, but only a few, 1, 6, and 11 in the US, don't overlap, which can lead to interference if multiple networks are using the same channel. 5 gigahertz, the newer, less crowded highway. It offers faster speeds and more channels, but with shorter range. Think of a high-speed express lane. Choosing the right lane, 802.11 wireless standards. Think of these standards as different types of vehicles using the wireless highway. Each has its own speed limit and capabilities, 802, 11A, B, and G. The earlier models, offering slower speeds, 11 megabits per second to 54 megabits per second, on the 2.4 gigahertz frequency, 802. 11N, Wi-Fi 4. A significant improvement, reaching speeds up to 600 megabits per second and operating on both 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz frequencies, offering more flexibility. 802, 11AC, Wi-Fi 5, an even faster option, reaching speeds of 3.5 Gbps and operating solely on the 5 GHz frequency, 802, 11AX, Wi-Fi 6, the latest and greatest, delivering blazing fast speeds up to 9.6 Gbps, and utilizing both 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz frequencies for optimal performance. Tools for a smooth ride, Wi-Fi analyzer and channel bonding. Wi-Fi analyzer. Imagine a traffic app for wireless networks. This tool helps you identify nearby Wi-Fi networks and their channels, allowing you to choose a less congested channel for your network, minimizing interference and maximizing performance. Channel bonding. Think of adding lanes to the highway, but only if there's space. This technique combines multiple channels to increase data rates, but it can also create more interference if not implemented carefully. Beyond Wi-Fi, exploring other wireless technologies. Long-range fixed wireless. Think of a wireless bridge connecting distant locations. This technology transmits data over long distances, more than 100 meters, using specialized equipment, often used in rural areas where traditional internet access might be limited. RFID, radio frequency identification. Imagine tiny barcodes that can be read wirelessly. RFID tags store data that can be read by scanners using radio waves, often used for inventory management, access control, and other applications. NFC, Near Field Communication, a subset of RFID, commonly used in smartphones for contactless payments and data sharing. Think of tapping your phone to pay at a store or to share contact information with another phone. The busy beehive, unveiling the services provided by networked hosts. Imagine a bustling office with various departments working together. Networked hosts function similarly, providing a variety of essential services to keep your digital world running smoothly. Let's explore these server roles and internet appliances that make network communication possible and secure. The powerhouse servers, file servers, the central storage units. These servers act as digital filing cabinets, storing, managing, and sharing files across a network. Web servers, the shop windows of the internet. They host websites and applications, allowing users to access information and interact with online services. Think of them as the public face of your organization on the web. Print servers, the printing managers. These centralized servers control multiple network printers, managing print jobs, spooling data, and ensuring efficient printing for all users. Mail servers, the digital post offices. They handle email delivery and retrieval, utilizing protocols like POP3, SMTP, and IMAP to keep your inbox organized and ensure smooth communication. Proxy servers, the intermediaries. These servers act as go-betweens for your devices and the internet, potentially caching frequently accessed information and filtering content for security purposes. DHCP servers, the address distributors. They automatically assign unique IP addresses to devices on the network, ensuring every device has a proper identification tag for communication. DNS servers, the digital translators. They translate human-readable domain names into numerical IP addresses that computers can understand, allowing you to browse websites easily. Syslog servers, the network historians. They collect and store log data from network devices, providing valuable information for troubleshooting and security analysis. Authentication, authorization, and accounting, AEA servers, the digital gatekeepers. They manage user access to network resources, verifying identities, determining permissions, and keeping track of activities. The security guardians, internet appliances. Just like a secure building has guards and security systems, networks rely on internet appliances to protect them from various threats. Firewalls, the first line of defense. Firewalls act as barriers, blocking unauthorized access to your network and controlling incoming and outgoing traffic. Unified Threat Management, UTM. The all-in-one security solution. UTMs combine firewall functionality with antivirus, anti-spam, content filtering, and intrusion prevention features, offering a comprehensive security shield. Spam gateways, the email bouncers. These appliances filter incoming emails, reducing the amount of spam that reaches your inbox and keeping your mailbox clutter-free. Load balancers, the traffic coordinators. They distribute network traffic and user requests evenly across multiple servers, preventing any single server from becoming overloaded and ensuring smooth performance. Beyond servers and appliances, exploring additional devices. Networked hosts extend beyond traditional servers, embedded systems, the specialized devices. These dedicated systems have built-in processors and memory, often found in industrial control systems, for example SCADA for power grids, and various appliances. Internet of Things, IoT devices, the ever-expanding network. IoT devices are physical objects with embedded processors that connect to the internet, enabling communication and data exchange. For example, smart home devices, wearables. Security considerations for IoT devices include keeping firmware and apps updated, using strong passwords and multi-factor authentication, separating them from critical network segments, and monitoring cloud services they connect to. Building the digital infrastructure, installing and configuring a basic SOHO network. Imagine setting up a new office. Networks function similarly, requiring careful planning and configuration to ensure communication flows smoothly. Let's dive into the world of IP addressing, a fundamental aspect of configuring basic wired and wireless networks in a small office or home office, SOHO, environment. Understanding IP addresses, the language of networks. Think of IP addresses as unique identification numbers assigned to devices on a network. These addresses, written in a format like 192.168.1100, act like digital labels, allowing devices to recognize and communicate with each other. IPv4, the current workhorse protocol, it uses 32-bit addresses consisting of 4 octets, numbers between 0 and 255, separated by dots. IPv6, the future of addressing. It offers a much larger address space using 128-bit hexadecimal addresses for more unique identifiers. The two worlds of IP addresses, public versus private. Private addresses. Think of these as internal identification labels. Used within a network, they cannot directly access the internet. For example, 10.0.0.1, 192.168.1.100. Public addresses. Imagine these as external street addresses. These addresses allow devices to communicate directly with the internet. For example, 151.6.1.192.7.8. In SOHO networks, routers use network address translation, NAT, to translate private LAN addresses to a single public WAN address for internet access. Assigning IP addresses, static versus dynamic static addresses. Think of assigning permanent ID cards. These addresses are manually configured on each device and remain unchanged. Dynamic addresses. Imagine borrowing identification from a pool. These addresses are automatically assigned by a DHCP server on the network, offering flexibility and simplifying network management. Automatic private IP addressing, APIPA. Imagine a device creating its own ID when the system is down. If a DHCP server is unavailable, devices might self-assign addresses in the 169.254 XX range, allowing basic network communication but limited internet access. Essential network configuration elements. Subnet mask. Think of a network map dividing the IP address into two parts: the network portion, identifying the network itself, and the host portion, identifying individual devices on the network. A common subnet mask for private networks is 255.255.255.0. Gateway address. Imagine the network exit point. This address identifies the router that enables devices to access the internet or other networks. It must be on the same network segment as the client devices. DNS server. Address. Think of the network phone book. This address specifies the DNS server that translates human-readable domain names like techvaultacademy.com into numerical IP addresses that computers can understand. Loopback. Address. Think of a device talking to itself. The loopback address 127.0.0.1 in IPv4 and 1 in IPv6 is used for local testing purposes, allowing a device to communicate with itself. Network configuration, decoding the essential concepts. Imagine a bustling city with well-defined traffic rules and designated areas. Networks function similarly, relying on various configuration concepts to ensure smooth communication and efficient resource allocation. Let's explore some key network configurations and understand the roles they play. 1. DNS, Domain Name System. The digital address book. Think of a phone book for the internet. The DNS translates human-readable domain names into numerical IP addresses that computers can understand. This process involves two main components: FQDN, fully qualified domain name, the complete internet address including the host name. DNS records, instructions stored on DNS servers that map names to IP addresses. Common record types include A record, stores the IPv4 address for a host name, like the phone number in a phone book. AAAA record stores the IPv6 address for a host name, accommodating the future of internet addresses. MX record directs email to a specific mail server for a domain, like designating the mailroom for a company. Beyond basic lookups, combating email spam and spoofing. Several methods leverage DNS to improve email security. DKIM, domain keys identified mail, adds a digital signature to emails, allowing verification of the sender's domain to prevent spoofing. SPF, Sender Policy Framework, specifies authorized email servers for a domain helping to identify emails from unauthorized sources. DMARC, domain-based message authentication reporting and conformance, provides a reporting mechanism for DKM and SPF results, allowing domain owners to track email authentication and prevent misuse. 2. DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, automating IP assignments. Imagine a network administrator handing out IP addresses like room keys in a hotel. DHCP automates this process, dynamically assigning IP addresses and other configuration settings to devices on a network. Here's how it works. DORA process. Discovery, offer, request, acknowledgement. Devices discover the DHCP server, receive an IP address offer, request it, and finally receive confirmation, acknowledgement, to use the assigned IP address. DHCP scope. The pool of available IP addresses that the DHCP server can distribute to clients. IP lease. The duration for which a client can use an assigned IP address. Leases help to ensure efficient use of IP addresses and can be renewed automatically. DHCP reservations, specific IP addresses within the scope that are permanently assigned to particular devices, like assigning a permanent room to a long-term guest. 3. VLANs, virtual LANs, creating network neighborhoods. Imagine dividing a large city into smaller districts. VLANs segment a physical network into logical subnetworks, offering several benefits. Reduced collisions. By dividing traffic, VLANs improve network performance by minimizing data collisions. Enhanced security. VLANs can restrict communication between different network segments, improving security by isolating sensitive resources. Increased efficiency. Network resources can be allocated more effectively based on specific departmental or functional needs. VLANs can be configured in two primary ways. Port-based VLANs. Devices are assigned to VLANs based on the physical switch port they are connected to. Protocol-based VLANs. Devices are assigned to VLANs based on the network protocols they use. The IEEE 802 1Q standard ensures compatibility between VLAN implementations from different vendors. 4. VPNs, virtual private networks, secure tunnels over the public internet. Imagine a secure underground passage connecting two locations. Similarly, VPNs create encrypted tunnels over the public internet, allowing remote users to securely connect to a private network. This is particularly useful for remote employees or mobile workers who need access to company resources while away from the office. VPNs can be configured in various ways, depending on the specific needs and security requirements. Some common options include using built-in Windows settings or third-party VPN software. The digital landscape, unveiling network types and internet connections. Imagine a bustling city with various transportation options, each suited for different needs. Similarly, networks come in various types, and internet connections offer diverse ways to connect to the digital world. Let's explore these network classifications and internet connection options to understand their functionalities and trade-offs. Network types, connecting devices at different scales. LAN, local area network, the neighborhood of the network world. LANs connect computers and devices in a limited geographic area, like a home, office, or building. Switches and routers are the traffic coordinators within a LAN, ensuring smooth communication between devices. WAN, wide area network, connecting across the miles. UANs span large geographical distances, typically connecting multiple LANs across cities, states, or even countries. Telecommunication companies and internet service providers, ISPs, play a crucial role in establishing high-speed connections for WANs. MAN, Metropolitan Area Network, a city-sized network. MANs cover a larger area than LANs, but smaller than WANs, often connecting businesses, government agencies, or educational institutions within a metropolitan area. SAN, Storage Area Network, dedicated to data storage. SANs are specialized networks specifically designed for connecting data storage devices like NAS, Network Attached Storage, RAID arrays, and tape backup systems. They prioritize fast and reliable data access for mission-critical applications. WLAN, Wireless Local Area Network, Going wireless within a LAN. WLANs are essentially wireless subsections of LANs, allowing devices to connect using access points instead of cables. EE 802.11 standards define the technologies and protocols used for WLAN communication. Wi-Fi. PAN, Personal Area Network, the network in your pocket. PANs are miniature networks for connecting personal devices like smartphones, laptops, and printers nearby. Bluetooth and NFC are common technologies used for wireless communication within PANs, WPANs. Connecting to the wider world, exploring internet connection options. Just like choosing the right transportation depends on your destination, the optimal internet connection type depends on your needs and availability. Cable internet, broadband through your cable TV line. This popular option uses coaxial cables and cable modems to deliver download speeds ranging from 50 megabits per second to 1 Gbps, making it suitable for streaming, online gaming, and everyday internet activities. DSL, digital subscriber line. Digital data over phone lines. DSL offers a faster alternative to dial-up by transmitting digital data over existing telephone lines. Two main options exist: ADSL, asymmetrical DSL, faster downloads than uploads, ideal for most home users who download more than they upload. SDSL, symmetrical DSL, equal upload and download speeds, typically more expensive and better suited for businesses with specific upload requirements. Fiber, FTTP, fiber to the premises, the speed champion. Fiber optic cables offer the fastest internet connection speeds currently available, ranging from 100 megabits per second to 1 Gbps. Fiber provides exceptional bandwidth and low latency, making it ideal for high-demand applications like video conferencing, large file transfers, and cloud services. Satellite internet, reaching remote areas. Satellite internet uses a parabolic dish antenna to connect to geosynchronous satellites in space. While offering reasonable speeds, comparable to traditional broadband, satellite internet experiences higher latency due to the physical distance signals must travel. WISP, wireless internet service provider, connecting the unconnected. WISPs offer wireless internet access using licensed or unlicensed frequency bands. This option is particularly valuable in rural or underserved areas where cable, DSL, or fiber might not be readily available. The Network Toolbox, essential tools for building and maintaining connections. Imagine a toolbox filled with specialized instruments for a mechanic. Similarly, network technicians rely on a variety of tools to install, troubleshoot, and maintain network infrastructure. Let's explore some key networking tools and understand their functionalities. 1. Network cabling tools, building the physical foundation. Just like constructing a house requires specific tools, network cabling involves specialized equipment for creating secure and reliable connections. Cable stripper, the insulation remover. This tool carefully removes a portion of the outer cable jacket to expose the individual wires within, preparing them for termination. Punch-down tool, the wire connector. This tool precisely pushes individual wires into designated slots, IDC clips, on RJ45 jacks and patch panels, establishing secure connections. Cable testers, the quality checkers. Two main types exist: network cable tester, continuity tester, cable certifier, checks for continuity, unbroken connections, and proper wiring sequence within the cable, ensuring functionality. Tone generator and probe kit, toner, probe, fox, and hound. Tracks down cables. The tone generator sends a signal through the cable, and the probe detects the signal at the other end, helping to identify specific cables and termination points. RJ45 crimper, the connector installer. This crimping tool attaches RJ45 plugs, connectors, to the ends of network cables, creating usable patch cables for connecting devices. Patch tester, the verification tool. This tester quickly verifies the functionality of pre-made patch cables, ensuring proper connections and continuity before deployment. Loopback plug, the self-tester. This plug simulates a network connection when connected to a device's network port. It allows testing of network adapters and TCP/IP functionality without requiring an external network connection. 2. Network tap, unveiling network traffic. Imagine a tool that lets you listen in on network conversations. A network tap is a physical device that extracts copies of network traffic from a specific port. This data can then be sent to monitoring tools for traffic analysis, identifying network usage patterns, bandwidth bottlenecks, and potential security threats. Intrusion detection, monitoring network activity for suspicious behavior that might indicate unauthorized access attempts. Network monitoring, keeping track of overall network health and performance metrics. Network taps come in various configurations, ranging from simple passive USB-powered devices to more complex AC-powered models with multiple ports. The captured data packets can be analyzed using specialized software tools like Wireshark, Snort, or TTP dump. 3. Wi-Fi analyzers, optimizing your wireless experience. Imagine having a map of the wireless landscape around you. Wi-Fi analyzers are tools that help visualize and analyze wireless networks. They can identify wireless networks, detect both 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz Wi-Fi networks in your vicinity. Channel overlap. Show how neighboring Wi-Fi networks are using channels, helping to identify potential interference and signal congestion. Signal strength. Measure the signal strength of access points, allowing you to choose the optimal location for your devices or access point. Wi-Fi analyzers come in two primary forms: handheld devices, dedicated tools with built-in antennas and analysis programs, offering portability for on-site surveys. Software applications available for Windows, Android, and iOS devices, providing a convenient way to analyze Wi-Fi networks from your smartphone or laptop. Domain 3.0 hardware, demystifying cables and connectors. The building blocks of connectivity. Imagine a world where devices can't communicate. Cables and connectors are the essential building blocks that establish connections between all sorts of electronic devices. Let's explore some of the most common cable types, their connectors, and the purposes they serve. 1. Network cables, the information highways, twisted pair, the workhorses of networking. These cables consist of copper wires, twisted in pairs, to reduce electrical interference. There are two main shielding options: unshielded twisted pair, UTP, the most common and cost-effective option, suitable for most home and office networks. Shielded twisted pair, STP, provides additional protection against interference in noisy electrical environments. Cable categories. Not all twisted pair cables are created equal. Categories, CAT, define the maximum supported data transfer speeds. Cat5, the granddaddy of network cables, supporting up to 100 megabits per second data speeds. Cat5e, an improved version of Cat5, providing up to 1 Gbps speeds. Most common for modern networks, Cat6 and 6a, the high-performance options capable of handling 10 Gbps speeds ideal for demanding applications. Wiring standards. The internal organization matters. Two wiring standards, T568A and T568B, define how the wires in a twisted pair cable are arranged for proper connection. While both are functional, it's important to maintain consistency within a network. Use either A or B throughout. Connectors, making the connection. RJ45 connectors, resembling larger versions of phone jacks, RJ11, are the standard for twisted pair network cables. Cable variations, beyond the basics. Network cables come in various configurations to suit different needs. Straight-through cable, the most common type, used to connect a computer to a switch or router. Crossover cable, less common today, used to connect devices directly without a switch, becoming obsolete with auto MDIC support in devices. Plenum-rated cable, fire-resistant for safer installation within building air plenums. Direct burial cable, water-resistant for underground installations. Coaxial cable, the cable internet connection hero. This single conductor cable with a braided shield is commonly used for cable internet connections, employing F-type connectors. Fiber optic cable, the speed demon. These cables transmit data using light pulses, offering superior speed, immunity to electromagnetic interference, EMI, and the ability to handle longer distances compared to copper cables. Fiber optic cables come in two main types, single mode and multi-mode, and use specialized connectors like ST SC and LC. 2. Peripheral cables and connectors, connecting devices, USB, Universal Serial Bus, the king of versatility. USB cables are used for data transfer and powering devices. Several versions exist offering increasing speeds. USB 2.0, USB 3.0, faster, USB 3.1, even faster, and USB 3, 2 USB-C, latest and fastest. USB connectors come in various shapes, including Type A, flat rectangle, Type B, square, mini USB, micro USB, and the newest USB-C, reversible. Lightning connector, Apple's proprietary connection. This connector is used on iPhones and other Apple devices, supporting data transfer and charging at USB 3.0 speeds. Thunderbolt, the high-speed champion. This powerful interface combines PCI Express and DisplayPort for exceptional data transfer speeds, making it ideal for connecting high-resolution displays and demanding peripherals. Serial cable, RS-232. The old-timer. Serial cables with D9, DB9, or DB25 connectors were a common standard for device communication in the past. Their use has largely been replaced by USB. 3. Video cables and connectors, bringing graphics to life. DVI, digital visual interface, a high-quality digital video connection offering excellent image quality. DVI is partially compatible with HDMI. HDMI, high-definition multimedia interface, the king of home entertainment. HDMI cables handle high-definition video and audio. Various types include A, B, C, D, and E. 4. Storage drive cables and connectors, SATA, common for internal drives, 7-pin data, and 15-pin power connectors. eSATA, external SATA, IDE, older parallel technology, 40-pin ribbon cable for data, 4-pin Molex for power. SCSI, designed for faster speeds than IDE, serial attached SCSI, SAS, up to 22.5 Gbps. 5. Adapters, used to connect devices and cables with different connector types. Examples, USB to Ethernet, HDMI to DVI, USB to PS2. Installing the appropriate RAM, a comprehensive guide. This guide equips you with the knowledge to install the correct RAM for your system, considering factors like type, speed, and channel configuration. 1. RAM types, form factor, desktop RAM. Dual inline memory modules, DIMMs. These are the standard RAM modules for desktops. Laptop RAM, small outline. Dual inline memory modules, SODIMMs. These modules are smaller and designed for laptops due to space constraints. DDR generation DDR3, double data rate 3. This is an older generation of RAM, commonly found in older computers. It has 240 pins, operates at 1.2 or 1.5 volts, and PC3 10600, DDR3 1333 is a common variant. DDR4, double data rate 4. This is the current mainstream DDR generation. It features 288 pins, and operates at 1.2 to 1.35 volts, with common speeds ranging from PC4 17000, DDR4 2133, to PC4 25600, DDR4 3200. DDR5, double data rate 5, the newest DDR generation, offering improved performance and efficiency. It also has 288 pins, operates at a lower voltage of 1.1 volts, and offers speeds like 4,800 MTS, 38,400 MB per S, and 6,400 MTS, 51,200 MB per S. Error correction code, ECC, standard RAM, more affordable, suitable for most desktop and laptop users. ECC RAM detects and corrects single-bit memory errors, enhancing data integrity. It's typically slower and more expensive, commonly used in servers and mission-critical systems. 2. Installing RAM. Before installation, ensure compatibility with your motherboard by checking the motherboard manual or the manufacturer's website. Here's a general installation guide. 1. Turn off and unplug your computer. 2. Open the computer case. For laptops, consult the service manual for specific disassembly instructions. 3. Locate the RAM slots on the motherboard. They are usually situated next to the CPU socket. 4. Identify the notch on the new RAM module. It should correspond with a notch on the RAM slot. 5. Carefully align the RAM module with the slot, ensuring the notch aligns correctly. 6. Apply gentle but firm pressure on both thumbs until the RAM module clicks into place and the locking tabs secure it. 7. Close the computer case and reconnect the power cables. 8. Boot up your computer and enter the BIOS or UEFI setup utility, usually by pressing a key like delete or F2 during startup. 9. Verify that the BIOS recognizes the newly installed RAM. 10. Boot into your operating system. Check the system information or task manager to confirm the amount of RAM recognized. 3. RAM technologies. Memory channels. Single channel. The system uses one 64-bit data channel for memory access, offering the lowest performance. Dual channel utilizes two 64-bit channels, 128-bit bus, doubling the bandwidth and improving performance. This is the most common configuration for modern systems. Triple channel, rare, employs three 64-bit channels, 192-bit bus, providing additional performance gains but less common on consumer motherboards. Quad channel, rare, utilizes four 64-bit channels, 256-bit bus, offering the highest bandwidth but is typically limited to high-end server motherboards and requires 4 identical RAM modules. 4. Virtual RAM. Virtual RAM is not actual RAM but a technique that utilizes a portion of your storage drive to emulate RAM functionality when physical RAM is running low. Here's a breakdown of its use in different systems. Windows Virtual Memory, paging file. When your computer runs out of physical RAM, it uses the paging file on your storage drive to store and retrieves less frequently used data, freeing up physical RAM for active programs. Smartphone Virtual RAM. Some smartphones employ a similar technique, allocating a portion of the device's internal storage as additional RAM. This allows them to run more apps simultaneously, prioritizing demanding apps for actual RAM and less demanding ones for the virtual RAM allocation. Selecting and installing storage devices, a comprehensive guide. This guide empowers you to choose and install the appropriate storage device based on your specific needs and scenario. Understanding storage options, hard disk drives, HDDs, speeds, measured in rotations per minute, RPM. Higher RPM indicates faster read-write times. Common speeds include 5,400 revolutions per minute, slower, good for secondary storage. 7,200 revolutions per minute, balance of performance and cost, common for desktops. 10,000 revolutions per minute, faster performance, higher noise and cost for performance-demanding applications. 15,000 revolutions per minute, fastest, loudest, most expensive, used in enterprise servers. Form factors, 2.5-inch, primarily used in laptops due to their compact size. 3.5-inch, standard size for desktops, offering larger capacities. Solid-state drives, SSDs, communication interfaces, SATA, the most common interface compatible with most motherboards. NVMe, non-volatile memory express, offers significantly faster data transfer speeds compared to SATA. Requires an NVM-compatible motherboard slot. PCIe, peripheral component interconnect express, another high-speed interface primarily used for high-performance computing systems. Form factors, M2, a compact and versatile form factor commonly found in laptops and some modern desktops. mSATA, an older, less common form factor for SSDs. Drive configurations, RAID, redundant array of independent disks. RAID offers a way to combine multiple physical disks into a single logical unit, potentially enhancing performance, data security, or both. Here are some common RAID configurations. RAID 0, striping. Data is striped across multiple disks for improved read-write performance, but offers no fault tolerance. If one disk fails, all data is lost. Minimum 2 disks. RAID 1, mirroring. Creates an exact mirror of your data on 2 separate disks. Provides excellent fault tolerance. If one disk fails, the other takes over seamlessly. requires exactly 2 disks. RAID 5, striping with parity. Data is striped across multiple disks with parity information distributed for error correction. Offers a balance between performance and fault tolerance, but requires a minimum of 3 disks. RAID 10, combined RAID 1 and 0, combines mirroring and striping for both performance and fault tolerance. Requires a minimum of 4 disks. Think of it as RAID 1, mirroring, nested within RAID 0, striping. Removable storage, flash drives, USB, portable storage devices offering varying capacities. Safely eject the drive before removal to prevent data corruption. Memory cards, used in various devices like cameras, phones, and tablets. Common types include SD, SDHC, SDXC, and SDUC with increasing capacities. Optical drives, read and write data to CDs, DVDs, or Blu-ray discs. Choose the appropriate media type based on your storage needs and compatibility with your drive. Common capacities include CDs 700 MB, DVDs 4.7 GB to 17 GB, Blu-ray discs 25 GB to 128 GB. Key considerations: SATA 3.0 versus SATA 3.2. While SATA 3.2 offers higher theoretical bandwidth, 16 GB/s, compared to SATA 3.0, 6 GB/s. The real-world performance difference is often negligible for most users. SSDs versus HDDs. SSDs offer faster performance and lower latency and are quieter and more shock-resistant than HDDs. However, they tend to be more expensive per gigabyte of storage. Flash memory, NAND-based flash memory in SSDs, has a limited number of write erase cycles. Higher endurance drives can mitigate this concern. Optical drives. The usage of optical drives is declining as cloud storage and flash drives become more popular. However, they may still be useful for archiving data or playing certain media formats. Installing and configuring motherboards, CPUs, and add-on cards. A comprehensive guide. This guide equips you with the knowledge to install and configure motherboards, central processing units, CPUs, and add-on cards effectively. Understanding motherboards, form factors. The size and layout of the motherboard determine its compatibility with a chassis and components. Common types include ATX, Advanced Technology Extended. Standard ATX boards measure 12 inches by 9.6 inches with perpendicular RAM and expansion slots, suitable for full tower cases. Micro ATX, smaller variant of ATX, max 9.6 inches by 9.6 inches, often used in mid-tower cases and compatible with ATX power supplies. ITX, Information Technology Extended, miniaturized motherboards, ideal for compact builds. Examples include Mini ITX, 6.7 inches by 6.7, Nano ITX, Pico ITX, and Mobile ITX. Connector types. Motherboards provide various connections for internal and external components. Key types include PCI Express, PCIe, high-speed serial interface for graphics cards, network cards, and other high-performance peripherals. Comes in various lane configurations, X1, X4, X8, X16, and revisions 1.0 to 6.0, PCI, peripheral component interconnect, older 32-bit interface offering lower bandwidth than PCIe. Less common in modern systems. Power connectors. The main power supply connector is typically a 24-pin ATX connector supplying positive 3.3 volts, positive 5 volts, positive 12 volts, negative 12 volts, and positive 5 volts standby voltages. Additional power connectors, 4 plus 4 pin EPS, 6 plus 2 pin PCIe, might be required for high-performance CPUs. SATA, serial ATA, connects storage devices like hard drives and solid-state drives. Uses a 7-pin data cable and a 15-pin power cable. eSATA, external SATA, external version of SATA for connecting external storage devices. Headers provide connections for internal components like front panel switches, USB ports, and audio jacks. M2, slot, a compact interface for connecting solid-state drives directly to the motherboard. offers high bandwidth and a smaller form factor compared to traditional SATA drives. Compatibility, CPU sockets. The CPU socket on the motherboard must be compatible with the CPU's physical and electrical specifications. Common socket types include LGA, land grid array, used by Intel processors, AM, advanced micro devices, used by AMD processors, desktop versus mobile. CPUs, desktop CPUs are designed for higher performance and sustained workloads, while mobile CPUs prioritize power efficiency and are often soldered onto the motherboard in laptops. BIOS UEFI, Basic Input-Output System or Unified Extensible Firmware Interface, Settings. The BIOS or UEFI is a firmware program that initializes the hardware and loads the operating system. Key settings include boot options. Specify the order in which the system searches for bootable devices, for example, hard drive, USB drive. USB permissions, enable or disable USB ports, and potentially set them for boot capability. Trusted Platform Module, TPM, and Secure Boot, security features that enhance data protection. TPM stores encryption keys, and Secure Boot ensures only authorized operating systems load. Fan control, adjust fan speeds for optimal cooling and noise levels. Passwords, set user and administrator passwords for BIOS UEFI access. Virtualization, support, enable Intel, VT, or AMD V for running multiple virtual machines on a single system. Expansion cards. Expansion cards provide additional functionality to the computer. Common types include video card, graphics card, a crucial component for gamers, video editors, and anyone working with graphics-intensive applications. Connects via a PCIe slot and often has dedicated GDDR memory for faster processing. May require additional power connectors from the power supply. Sound card improves onboard audio quality, offering features like surround sound and higher audio fidelity. Connects via a PCIe slot and has color-coded audio jacks for speakers and microphones. May also include a SPDIF optical output for digital audio. Network Interface Card, NICs. Provides network connectivity, connects via a PCIe slot, and offers one or more RJ45 ports for wired Ethernet connections. USB card adds additional USB ports to the system, potentially supporting newer USB versions like USB 3.2 for faster data transfer speeds. Capture card enables recording video and audio output from a computer or external source, useful for streamers, gamers, and content creators. Connects via PCIe and may have HDMI or other video input ports. Cooling considerations. Heat management is crucial for system stability and performance. Here are some key cooling components. Fans. These circulate air within the case, drawing heat away from hot components like the CPU and graphics card. Fan speed can be controlled through the BIOS UEFI for a balance between cooling and noise levels. Heat sinks. Metallic structures that absorb heat from the CPU or GPU, often paired with thermal paste or pads to improve heat transfer between the component and the heat sink. Thermal paste pads. These conductive materials fill microscopic gaps between the CPU, GPU, and the heatsink, ensuring efficient heat transfer. Liquid cooling, a more advanced cooling solution using a water pump, radiators, and tubing to circulate coolant and dissipate heat more effectively. Offers superior cooling performance but requires more complex installation and maintenance. Encryption. Data encryption protects your information from unauthorized access. Here are two common solutions. Trusted Platform Module, TPM. A hardware security chip integrated into the motherboard. It securely stores encryption keys used to scramble and unscramble data. Hardware Security Module, HSM, a dedicated external device that generates, stores, and manages encryption keys. It can also perform other cryptographic operations, offering a higher level of security compared to TPM. CPU architecture. The CPU architecture determines how the processor processes data. Here's a breakdown of common architectures. x86 or x64, the dominant architecture used by Intel and AMD processors for desktops and laptops, offers 64-bit processing for handling larger amounts of data and memory. ARM, energy-efficient architecture commonly found in mobile devices like smartphones and tablets. Some laptops are also adopting ARM processors, single-core versus multi-core. A CPU with a single core can handle one task at a time. Multi-core CPUs can handle multiple tasks simultaneously, improving performance for multitasking and running demanding applications. Multithreading, a hyperthreading or SMT, simultaneous multithreading technology that allows a single CPU core to handle multiple threads, subtasks of a program, further enhancing performance. Virtualization support. Certain CPU architectures and motherboard chipsets support virtualization technologies like Intel VT or AMD V. This allows running multiple virtual machines on a single physical computer, consolidating resources and improving efficiency. Power Up Your PC, a guide to installing and replacing power supplies. This guide empowers you to choose, install, and replace a suitable power supply for your computer. Understanding power supplies. Power conversion, a power supply unit, PSU, converts the alternating current, AC, from your wall outlet into direct current, DC, at various voltages, 3.3 volts, 5 volts, 12 volts, used by your computer components. Component power delivery. The PSU supplies power to the motherboard, CPU, storage drives, graphics card, and other internal devices. Redundancy for reliability. Critical systems may use redundant power supplies, where multiple PSUs ensure continued operation in case one fails. Planning for power supply selection. Reliable brands. Choose a reliable brand with safety certifications like IEC, FCC, UL, and RoHS compliance. Compatibility matters. Ensure the PSU form factor, for example ATX, is compatible with your motherboard. Wattage matters. Select a PSU with sufficient wattage to meet the combined power requirements of all your system components. Use online wattage calculators to estimate your needs and add some headroom for future upgrades. Connector needs. Verify the number and types of power connectors, SATA, Molex, PCIe, needed for your components. Power supply, compatibility, ATX standard. The ATX form factor is most common. Main power connector. The main power connector to the motherboard is typically a 24-pin connector, maybe a 20 plus 4 pin or a 20 pin for older PSUs. CPU power connector. High-performance CPUs may require an additional 4-pin or 8-pin 12 volts CPU power connector, ADX12V. Power adapters. Adapters are available for compatibility, for example, 20-pin to 24-pin, 4-pin to 8-pin. Power supply connectors explained. SATA connector, 15-pin, delivers 3.3 volts, 5 volts, and 12 volts, power to SATA storage drives. Molex connector, 4-pin, provides 5 volts and 12 volts power for legacy components like case fans and IDE drives. PCIe connector, 6-pin or 8-pin, supplies 12 volts power to PCIe devices like graphics cards, ATX12V standard versions 2.1 or higher. Power supply types, modular power supplies, offer detachable cables for better cable management and airflow within the case. Redundant power supplies. Critical systems can utilize multiple PSUs for fault tolerance. In some cases, these PSUs can be hot swapped without powering down the system. Power supply installation steps. 1. Voltage selector. Ensure the voltage selector switch on the PSU is set to the appropriate voltage, typically 115 volts for the US and 230 volts for other regions. Some PSUs may have automatic voltage detection. 2. PSU installation. Securely mount the PSU into the designated slot in your case using screws. 3. Main power connector. Connect the 24-pin main ATX connector to the motherboard power supply socket. 4. CPU power connector. Connect the 8-pin CPU power connector, ETX12V, to the motherboard CPU power socket if required by your CPU. 5. Peripheral power connectors. Connect SATA, Molex, and PCIe power connectors as needed to your storage drives, fans, and other peripherals. 6. Power up and test. Connect the power cord to the PSU and the wall outlet. Turn on the system and verify functionality. Mastering multifunction devices. A guide to deployment and configuration. This comprehensive guide equips you with the knowledge to deploy, configure, and manage multifunction devices, MFDs, effectively. Unboxing and setup. 1. Location. Consider factors like space, accessibility, and ventilation when choosing a suitable location for your MFD. 2. Safety. Follow proper lifting techniques to avoid injury. Inspect the MFD for damage during shipping and remove protective materials. 3. Packaging. Retain packaging materials for potential returns. Driver selection. Operating system. Compatibility. Ensure you have the appropriate drivers for your operating system, OS. PCL versus PostScript. PCL, printer control language. Suitable for general office printing needs. PostScript offers superior quality and flexibility, ideal for professional graphics and presentations. Device connectivity. MFDs can connect to your network using various methods. USB, simple and ideal for a single computer connection. Ethernet provides a reliable wired network connection for multiple users. Wireless, Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Offers greater flexibility for placement, but may have security considerations. Sharing MFDs, a Windows printer. Sharing, enable printer sharing on a Windows machine to allow access to other users on the network. Permissions. Configure individual printer sharing permissions to control user access. Configuration settings. Duplex printing. Print on both sides of the paper to save paper and reduce waste. Collating. Organize multiple copies of a print job in the desired order. Orientation. Choose portrait, vertical, or landscape, horizontal printing orientation. Paper trays. Set paper size and type for specific trays. Print, quality, adjust print resolution, dots per inch, DPI, based on your needs. Security measures, cache management. Regularly clear the MFD's cache to maintain performance and improve security. Audit logs. Enable and configure audit logs to track device activity. User authentication. Implement user authentication methods like secure print or multi-factor authentication to control access and secure sensitive documents. Network scan services. Scan to email. Scan documents and send them directly to email addresses. SMB, server message block. Scan documents and save them to shared network folders. Cloud services. Scan documents and save them to cloud storage platforms. Automatic document feeder, ADF, and flatbed scanner, ADF, enables scanning of multiple pages automatically. Flatbed scanner, suitable for scanning single pages, books, or objects. Testing, test scanning functionality and ensure documents are routed to the desired location. Local versus network printers. Local printers. Connect directly to a computer via USB, serial, or parallel ports. Network printers. Connect directly to the network, Ethernet, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or through a print server, allowing access from multiple devices. Basic printer security. Data privacy. Be mindful of data privacy concerns when scanning or printing sensitive documents. Security measures. Implement the security measures mentioned above. Cache clearing, auditing, user authentication to safeguard your MFD. Keeping your printer running smoothly. A guide to consumables and maintenance. This guide equips you with the knowledge to install, replace, and maintain printer consumables, ensuring optimal performance from your laser, inkjet, thermal, impact, and 3D printers. Understanding printer types and consumables. Laser printers. Components, imaging drum, fuser assembly, transfer belt, transfer roller, pickup rollers, separation pads, duplexing assembly. Imaging process. The laser printer utilizes a multi-step process involving processing, charging, exposing, developing, transferring, fusing, and cleaning to create a precise image on the paper. Maintenance. Replace toner cartridges regularly. Periodically, you may also need to replace maintenance kits, perform calibration, and clean the printer. Inkjet printers, components, ink cartridge, print head, roller, feeder, duplexing assembly, carriage belt. Maintenance. Inkjet printers require cleaning the print heads to prevent clogs, replacing ink cartridges when empty, calibration for optimal print quality, and clearing paper jams when they occur. Thermal printers. Components, feed assembly, heating element, special thermal paper, heat sensitivity. Thermal printers use heat to activate specially coated thermal paper, creating the image. Maintenance. Replace thermal paper when it runs out. Clean the heating element regularly and remove any debris that may accumulate. It's crucial to store thermal paper away from heat and sunlight to prevent premature fading. Impact printers, components, print head, ribbon, tractor feed, impact paper. Maintenance. Replace the ribbon periodically as the ink wears out. In some cases, the print head may also require replacement. Impact printers use impact paper specifically designed for this technology. 3D printers. Materials, filament, typically plastic or resin. Print bed. The 3D printer lays down material onto a print bed, gradually building up the 3D object. Maintenance. Update the firmware regularly to ensure compatibility and bug fixes. Proper leveling of the print bed is crucial for successful printing. Clean excess plastic around the nozzle to prevent jams. Remember, always consult your printer's user manual for specific instructions on replacing consumables and performing maintenance tasks. By following these guidelines and maintaining your printer properly, you can extend its lifespan, ensure high-quality printing, and avoid costly repairs. Demystifying the cloud, a guide to cloud computing and virtualization. This guide empowers you to understand the core concepts of cloud computing and virtualization technologies. Cloud computing models. Cloud computing offers a flexible and scalable way to access computing resources over the internet. Here are the common cloud models. Private cloud, a cloud environment dedicated to a single organization. It provides greater control over data and security, but requires more upfront investment. Public cloud. The service provider delivers computing resources like servers, storage, and applications over the public internet. It offers scalability and pay-as-you-go pricing, but may have limitations on control and customization. Hybrid cloud combines a private cloud infrastructure with public cloud services. This offers flexibility, scalability, and control over sensitive data. Community cloud, shared cloud infrastructure between multiple organizations with similar needs and interests. It provides cost efficiency and a collaborative environment. Cloud service models. Cloud services can be delivered in different ways to meet your specific needs. Infrastructure as a service, IaaS, provides the building blocks of IT infrastructure, including servers, storage, networking, and virtualization. You manage the operating system, applications, and data. Platform as a service, PaaS, offers a platform for developing, deploying, and managing applications. It eliminates the need to manage the underlying infrastructure. Software as a service, SaaS, delivers applications over the internet on a subscription basis. Users access the software through a web browser or mobile app, eliminating the need for local installation or software maintenance. Key cloud characteristics. Shared resources. Cloud resources like storage, servers, and network components are pooled and dynamically allocated to users. Metered utilization. Cloud services are typically billed based on usage, allowing you to pay only for the resources you consume. Rapid elasticity. Cloud resources can be easily scaled up or down to meet changing demands, offering flexibility and cost efficiency. High availability. Cloud providers strive for high availability and uptime to ensure consistent access to services. File synchronization. Cloud services can synchronize files across various devices, ensuring data consistency and accessibility. Desktop virtualization. Desktop virtualization separates the user desktop interface from the underlying physical hardware. Virtual desktop infrastructure, VDI, provides individual virtual desktops for users. These desktops can be hosted on premises or in the cloud. VDI on premises. The organization manages the VDI infrastructure within its own data center. VDI in the cloud. Virtual desktops are hosted by a cloud service provider, offering scalability and simplified management. Unveiling client-side virtualization, a guide to benefits and considerations. Client-side virtualization empowers you to run virtual machines, or VMs, directly on your personal computer, unlocking a variety of benefits for development, testing, and application management. The power of virtual machines. Sandbox. Environment. Create isolated environments for development, testing, or training. This allows you to experiment without affecting your primary system. Test development. Run multiple operating systems simultaneously on a single machine, facilitating software testing across different platforms. Application virtualization. Run individual applications within a virtual environment, providing compatibility with your existing system and simplifying deployment. Legacy software / OS compatibility. Execute older software or operating systems that may not be compatible with your current system directly within a VM. Cross-platform virtualization. Organizations can leverage multiple virtualization platforms on a single host machine, offering flexibility and customization. Resource considerations for client-side virtualization. CPU. Allocate virtual CPU cores or threads based on the capabilities of your host system and the resource requirements of the virtual machine. RAM. Assign sufficient virtual RAM, typically 2 GB or more, considering both your host system's available memory and the VM's needs. Network connection. Configure appropriate networking options for your VM. Bridge networking offers full network access, while NAT, network address translation, provides limited internet access for the VM. Host-only networking allows VMs to communicate with each other, but not the internet. You can also choose to isolate the VM entirely from the network. The choice depends on your security and connectivity requirements. Storage. Select the virtual storage drive type, for example, SCSI, SATA, IDE, and size, static or dynamically allocated, based on the VM's operating system and data needs. Security considerations for client-side virtualization. Secure the host. Configure the computer hosting the VMs securely. Keep the virtualization software updated with the latest security patches. Update VMs. Regularly update the operating system and applications within your VMs to address security vulnerabilities. Disable unnecessary hardware. In the VM settings, disable unnecessary hardware components like USB ports, optical drives, or other peripherals to minimize potential security risks. Secure networking. Utilize appropriate network connection options, remove unnecessary network shares, and consider creating secure VLANs, virtual local area networks, to isolate VMs. Additional security measures. Configure virtual BIOS boot priority to control startup processes. Limit VM resources to prevent them from consuming excessive host system resources. Protect VM files by backing them up regularly. Utilize snapshots to create restore points for VMs. Consider employing cross-platform virtualization management tools for centralized control and enhanced security. Beyond virtual machines, hypervisors, software that enables virtualization. There are two main types. Type 1, bare metal, runs directly on the hardware, providing the highest performance for VMs. Type 2, hosted, runs on top of an existing operating system, offering greater flexibility for personal computer use. Containers, lightweight virtualization technology focused on isolating applications at the operating system level, requiring fewer resources than VMs. Sandboxes, isolated testing environments are often used in conjunction with revision control software to manage and track changes during development or testing. The last domain is 5.0 hardware and network troubleshooting, conquering hardware and network issues. A guide to best practices. This guide equips you with a systematic approach to troubleshooting hardware and network problems, ensuring efficient resolution and minimal disruption. Remember to prioritize adherence to corporate policies and procedures throughout the process. 1. Identifying the problem. Gather user input. Begin by talking to the user experiencing the issue. Gather details about the problem, including error messages, recent changes made to the system or network, and any unusual environmental factors. Backup data, if applicable. Before making significant changes, create a backup of important data to minimize potential data loss. Review system logs. System logs may contain valuable clues regarding the root cause of the issue. Investigate infrastructure changes. Inquire about any recent network or infrastructure changes that might have contributed to the problem. 2. Establishing a theory of probable cause. Question the obvious. Don't overlook the simple explanations. Start with the most likely causes based on the gathered information. Conduct research if necessary. If the cause isn't readily apparent, utilize internal resources or conduct external research based on the symptoms you've observed. 3. Testing the theory. Verify the hypothesis. Systematically test your suspected cause to determine if it resolves the issue. Refine the theory, if needed. If the initial theory proves incorrect, reevaluate and establish a new hypothesis based on your findings. Escalate the issue to a designated support team if necessary. 4. Implementing the solution. Develop a plan, formulate a plan to address the problem, refer to vendor manuals or support resources for specific troubleshooting steps for the identified hardware or software. Obtain approval, if required. In some cases, you may need approval from relevant personnel before implementing the solution. 5. Verification and prevention. Test functionality. Once the solution is implemented, thoroughly test the system or network to ensure all functionalities are restored. Preventative measures. Consider implementing preventative measures to minimize the likelihood of the problem reoccurring. This may involve updating software, configuring settings, or establishing best practices for users. 6. Documentation. Document everything. Document the entire troubleshooting process, including the issue, the suspected cause, the solution implemented, any preventative measures taken, and the final outcome. Benefits of documentation. Thorough documentation serves several purposes, provides closure and a sense of accomplishment, offers a valuable reference point for future troubleshooting of similar issues, protects all parties involved in case of investigations or legal proceedings. Troubleshooting tech troubles. A guide to resolving motherboard, RAM, CPU, and power supply issues. This guide equips you with the knowledge to diagnose and troubleshoot common problems related to motherboards, RAM, CPUs, and power supplies. Common symptoms: power on self-test. Post. Beeps. These coded beeps from the motherboard indicate a hardware issue during startup. Consult your motherboard manual to decipher the beep codes. Crash screens, blue screens of death, BSOD, on Windows, or proprietary crash screens, like the pinwheel on a Mac, can signal hardware or software issues. Black screen. The monitor displays nothing during startup, often pointing to hardware problems. No power. The computer fails to power on, indicating a potential issue with the power supply or motherboard. Sluggish performance. The system may experience slowness, freezing, or lagging, potentially caused by overheating, insufficient RAM, or a failing component. Overheating. The computer runs excessively hot, often accompanied by performance issues or unexpected shutdowns. Burning smell. A burning odor emanating from the computer can indicate a failing component, like a capacitor on the motherboard or a power supply malfunction. Intermittent shutdown. The computer unexpectedly shuts down and restarts without warning. Application crashes. Specific programs or applications crash frequently, suggesting software or hardware incompatibility. Grinding noise. Unusual grinding noises may originate from a failing fan on the CPU or power supply. Capacitor swelling. The tops of capacitors on the motherboard may appear bulging or swollen, indicating a failing component. Inaccurate. System date, time. A constantly resetting date and time can sometimes point to a failing CMOS battery on the motherboard. Troubleshooting specific components. Motherboard. UEFI BIOS. Issues. Outdated firmware, UEFI or BIOS, can cause startup problems. Update the BIOS to the latest version if possible. A failing CMOS battery might also cause erratic settings. Replace it if necessary. Verify the boot order and settings in the BIOS to ensure they are correct. Electrical issues. Use a surge protector or uninterruptible power supply, UPS, to safeguard your system from power surges. Implement proper anti-static measures to prevent electrostatic discharge, ESD damage when handling motherboard components. Component failure. Consult your motherboard manual to interpret post-beep codes and identify potential hardware failures. Replace faulty components or consider replacing the entire motherboard in severe cases. CPU. Improper installation. Double-check that the CPU power connector is properly plugged in. Ensure the CPU fan is connected and functioning correctly. Verify that the heatsink is securely mounted on the CPU with thermal paste applied. Defective CPU. If other troubleshooting steps fail, consider replacing the CPU. If reusing the heatsink, clean and reapply the thermal compound. Strange noises. Reroute cables that might interfere with the CPU fan. Clean the fan with compressed air to remove dust buildup. Use a computer vacuum cleaner cautiously to remove dust from vents. RAM, incorrect installation or compatibility. Ensure the RAM modules are compatible with your motherboard and properly seated in the slots. Damage. Power surges or ESD can damage RAM. Utilize a surge protector or UPS and take anti-static precautions. Symptoms and troubleshooting. If your computer won't boot, encounters memory errors during startup, experiences frequent application crashes, or encounters BSODs, try reseating the RAM modules, cleaning the contacts, testing them in different slots, or replacing the RAM altogether. Memory testing tools like memtest86 or the Windows Memory Diagnostics tool can help identify RAM issues. Power supply. Power connections. Verify that all power supply connections are secure. You can use a PSU tester to diagnose power supply functionality. Consult a qualified technician if necessary. Power supply failure. Symptoms like fan failure, blown fuses, sudden complete failure, quick death, or gradual degradation, slow death, indicate a faulty power supply. In such cases, replace the power supply unit. Never attempt to open a power supply unit yourself, as it can be dangerous. Overheating, ensure proper airflow within the computer case. Install additional case fans if necessary. Keep the computer in a cool, well-ventilated area. Safeguarding your storage, a guide to troubleshooting, storage drives, and RAID arrays. This guide empowers you to identify and address common issues affecting storage drives and RAID arrays, ensuring data security and optimal performance. Symptoms of storage drive issues: LED status indicators. Monitor the LED lights on your storage drives. Blinking or unusual light patterns can indicate potential problems. Consult your drive's documentation for specific LED error codes. Grinding or clicking noises. Abnormal noises emanating from the drive suggest mechanical failure. Back up your data immediately and consider replacing the drive. Bootable device not found. The computer fails to locate a bootable operating system, preventing startup. Data loss, corruption. Important files are inaccessible or appear corrupted. Smart failure. Smart self-monitoring analysis and reporting technology detects potential drive issues. These warnings should be addressed promptly. Extended read-write times. Slow file transfer speeds may indicate drive fragmentation, excessive workload, or hardware degradation. Reduced IOPs, input-output operations per second. A significant decrease in IOPS can signify drive performance issues. Missing drives in operating system. The operating system fails to recognize a connected storage drive. Preventive maintenance for storage drives. Power down. When idle, turn off your computer when not in use to reduce wear and tear on the drives. Disk cleanup and defragmentation. Regularly clean up unnecessary files and defragment your drives to optimize performance. Free space allocation. Maintain at least 10% free space on your drives to ensure optimal performance. Proper airflow. For high-performance drives, ensure adequate airflow within the computer case to prevent overheating. Anti-malware scans. Scan your drives regularly using anti-malware software to protect data integrity. Troubleshooting storage drive issues. Bootable device not found. Verify that power and data cables are securely connected. Check the BIOS boot order to ensure the correct drive is selected for startup. Consider updating the BIOS firmware if necessary. Windows. Not recognizing a second drive. Install the appropriate drivers for the drive. Initialize the drive in disk management. Partition and format the drive as needed. Slow reaction time. Scan for malware and remove unnecessary startup programs. Defragment your drives to improve access times. Run benchmarking software to assess drive performance. Missing files at startup. Attempt to recover missing files using data recovery software. Replace the drive if it's physically damaged. Missing or corrupted files. Back up your data immediately. Defragment the drive. Scan for malware. Analyze smart data to identify potential drive issues. Noisy drive lockups. If the drive exhibits excessive noise or causes system lockups, prioritize copying your data to a healthy drive as soon as possible. Consider data recovery software if necessary. Noisy drive lockups. If the drive exhibits excessive noise or causes system lockups, prioritize copying your data to a healthy drive as soon as possible. Consider data recovery software if necessary. Troubleshooting RAID arrays. Drive connections. Double-check that all drives are securely connected to the RAID controller and that the controller itself is properly connected to the motherboard. Motherboard RAID disablement. If using a separate RAID controller, disable the onboard motherboard RAID functionality in the BIOS settings to avoid conflicts. RAID driver updates. Verify that the RAID controller drivers are installed and up to date. Failed drive or controller. Identify any failed drives or a malfunctioning RAID controller using the RAID configuration utility. RAID repair or reconfiguration. The RAID configuration utility may offer options to repair or reconfigure the array in case of a failed drive. BIOS RAID settings. If using the motherboard's RAID functionality, ensure RAID is enabled in the BIOS and the SATA configuration is set to RAID mode. Smart data analysis. Utilize smart data to monitor the health of your RAID array and identify potential issues with individual drives. Conquering display dilemmas. A guide to troubleshooting video, projector, and display issues. Having trouble with your video display? This guide equips you with the knowledge to diagnose and resolve common issues affecting monitors, projectors, and video cards. Common symptoms: incorrect data source. Ensure your computer or device is set to the correct video output, for example, HDMI DisplayPort, that matches the connected monitor or projector. Physical cabling issues. Verify that all cables, video and power, are securely connected at both ends. Inspect cables for damage or fraying. Burned out bulb, projectors. A dim or flickering image on a projector often indicates a bulb nearing the end of its lifespan. Fuzzy image. A blurry or unclear picture can be caused by loose cables, incorrect resolution settings, or a failing video card, PC, or projector. Display burn-in. Faint ghost images persisting on the screen can be a permanent issue with some display technologies, especially OLED. Dead pixels. Small permanently inactive dots on the screen can be a manufacturing defect or occur over time. Flashing screen. Rapid flickering can be caused by loose cables, incompatible refresh rates, or a failing video card. Incorrect color display. Inaccurate or distorted colors might be due to incorrect display settings, outdated video drivers, PC, or a faulty video card. Audio issues with video connections. For connections like HDMI or DisplayPort, ensure audio output is configured correctly on your computer. Dim image. A faint display can be caused by projector bulb issues, low monitor brightness settings, or power management settings on your computer. Intermittent projector. Shutdown. Overheating can cause sudden projector shutdowns. Ensure proper ventilation and clean projector vents. Troubleshooting PC video issues. 1. Check connections and power cycle. Verify that all video cables are securely connected to your computer and monitor. Turn off and on your computer and monitor to see if a power cycle resolves the issue. 2. UEFI BIOS settings. If using a dedicated video card, disable onboard graphics in the BIOS settings to avoid conflicts. 3. Resolution and refresh rate. Adjust your display resolution and refresh rate settings in your operating system's display settings. 4. Video driver updates. Outdated video drivers can cause display problems. Update your video card drivers to the latest version from the manufacturer's website. 5. DirectX version. Certain applications may require a specific version of DirectX. Verify your DirectX version and update if necessary. 6. Video card temperature. Monitor your video card's temperature using software. Excessive heat can cause display issues and instability. Consider additional cooling if necessary. 7. Stuck or dead pixels. Specialized software can sometimes repair stuck pixels. Dead pixels are typically permanent. 8. Monitor calibration and adjustments. Calibrate your monitor for optimal color and brightness. Utilize anti-glare or privacy filters to improve viewing experience. 9. Software compatibility. Newly installed applications might have compatibility issues with your video card. Try running the application in compatibility mode. 10. Video card hardware. Ensure your video card is properly seated in its slot and that power connections are secure. consider consulting a technician for further diagnosis. External laptop monitors. 1. Display toggle key. Use the display toggle key combination, for example FN plus F4, on your laptop to switch between the laptop display, external monitor, or dual monitor mode. 2. Monitor connection and settings. Verify that the external monitor is connected, powered on, and set to the correct video input standard, for example HDMI VGA. 3. Video adapters. If necessary, use adapters to ensure compatibility between your laptop's video output and the monitor's input. 4. Audio output HDMI DisplayPort. Configure audio output settings in your operating system to utilize the HDMI or DisplayPort connection for audio if available. Projectors. 1. Projector specifications. Consider factors like lumens, brightness, resolution, and projector technology, LCD, LED, DLP, when troubleshooting image quality. 2. Projector connection. Use the display toggle button on your laptop or a video card with dual outputs to connect a projector to your computer. 3. Bulb replacement. For projectors with replaceable bulbs, replace a burned out bulb with a manufacturer recommended bulb and reset the lamp counter. 4. Projector cooling. Ensure proper airflow and ventilation around the projector to prevent overheating and sudden shutdowns. 5. Cables and extenders. Use high-quality cables with proper rating. 6. Active extenders. For long projector cable runs, consider using active extenders to maintain a strong signal. Advanced troubleshooting. System logs. For persistent video issues on a PC, consult System Logs, Event Viewer on Windows for potential error messages related to the video card or display driver. Safe mode. Booting your computer into safe mode with minimal drivers can help isolate whether the issue is software or hardware related. Hardware replacement. In some cases, hardware replacement, for example video card projector bulb, might be necessary. Consult a technician for professional diagnosis and repair. Remember, when troubleshooting, follow a systematic approach, starting with the most common causes and working your way towards more complex issues. Refer to your device or component manuals for specific troubleshooting steps and technical specifications. Documenting your troubleshooting efforts can be helpful for future reference or when seeking assistance from a technician. Taming Tech Tantrums, a guide to troubleshooting common mobile device issues. This guide empowers you to diagnose and resolve common problems plaguing your mobile device, keeping you connected and productive. Common mobile device. Symptoms. Poor battery health. The battery drains quickly or fails to hold a charge. Swollen battery. A bulging battery back cover indicates a serious safety hazard. Do not use the device and seek professional help immediately. Broken screen. Cracks or physical damage to the display hinder functionality and require screen replacement. Improper charging. The device fails to charge or charges slowly. Poor no connectivity, issues with Wi-Fi, cellular data, or Bluetooth connections. Liquid damage, exposure to water or other liquids can cause various malfunctions. Overheating. The device becomes excessively hot during operation. Digitizer issues, unresponsiveness or erratic behavior of the touchscreen. Physically damaged ports, bent or broken charging or headphone ports. Malware, malicious software can disrupt device performance and compromise data security. Cursor drift touch calibration. The touchscreen cursor jumps or doesn't register touch accurately. Troubleshooting mobile device displays. Dim display. Check the brightness settings and ensure auto brightness calibration is functioning correctly. No display. Verify the device isn't in sleep mode, confirm it's powered on, and has sufficient battery, and check display connection or calibration settings. If these steps fail, the display might be damaged and require professional repair or replacement. Combating mobile device overheating. Causes. Overheating can be caused by poorly coded apps, excessive app usage, a failing or old battery, or inadequate ventilation. Solutions: identify and remove problematic apps. Disable unnecessary background features like location services or Bluetooth when not in use. Consider replacing an old or damaged battery. Prolonging battery life. Avoid complete drainage. Don't let your battery completely drain before charging. Power conservation. Utilize battery-saving features like reducing screen brightness and closing unnecessary apps. Heat avoidance. Keep your device away from direct sunlight and other heat sources. Power down. When idle. Turn off your device when not in use. Protective cases. Choose protective cases that allow proper ventilation. Troubleshooting other mobile device issues. Charging issues. Inspect the charging cable, charging port, and battery for damage or debris. Clean the charging port carefully with a compressed air can. Frozen system. Force stop a malfunctioning app. If the device remains unresponsive, perform a forced restart, battery pull, or soft reset. In extreme cases, a factory reset might be necessary. Be sure to back up data beforehand. Liquid damage. Immediately remove the device from the liquid, power it off, and remove any removable parts, like the SIM card. Pat the device dry with a clean cloth and allow it to air dry completely for at least 48 hours. If necessary, clean the device with a solution of isopropyl alcohol and distilled water. Consult a technician for proper cleaning procedures. Do not turn on the device or attempt to charge it until it is completely dry. Touchscreen issues. Restart the device to rule out software glitches. Consider if a specific app is causing the problem. For persistent issues, the display connection might be loose or the display itself might require replacement. Touchscreen calibration might also resolve minor inaccuracies. No sound. Check the volume settings, ensure the speaker grills aren't blocked, and verify app-specific sound settings. A loose or faulty speaker connection might necessitate professional repair. Disassembling mobile devices. Advanced. Disassembly documentation. Always document the disassembly process thoroughly. Organize removed parts meticulously, label wires and cables for reassembly, and record screw types and locations. Taking pictures at each step can be immensely helpful. Manufacturer resources. Utilize manufacturer resources like repair manuals, online tech support communities, and forums for specific disassembly instructions and troubleshooting guidance. Safety precautions. Use appropriate tools for the job. Take steps to protect against electrostatic discharge, ESD, damage to sensitive components. Have testing equipment ready to verify functionality after reassembly. Remember, when troubleshooting, start with the simplest potential causes and progress towards more complex solutions. Consult your device's user manual for specific troubleshooting steps and functionalities. Back up your data regularly to prevent permanent data loss in case of device failure. For complex repairs or data recovery situations, consider seeking assistance from a qualified mobile device technician. Conquering the print queue, a guide to troubleshooting and resolving printer issues. Is your printer acting up? Don't despair. This guide equips you with the knowledge to diagnose and resolve common printer problems, ensuring smooth and efficient printing. Common printer issues. Paper jams. These pesky occurrences can halt printing. Print quality issues. Blurry text, faint print, or toner streaks can mar your documents. Feeding and misfeeds. Paper failing to feed or multiple pages printing at once can disrupt workflow. Print queue problems. Jobs stuck in the queue or failing to print can be frustrating. Connectivity issues. The inability to connect to the printer can prevent printing altogether. Incorrect settings, mismatched paper size, color settings, or orientation can lead to printing errors. finishing issues, staple jams, hole punches, problems specific to printers with stapling or hole punching capabilities, error codes and messages. The printer might display cryptic messages indicating specific issues. Grinding noises. Unusual noises emanating from the printer can signal potential hardware problems. Troubleshooting by problem and paper jams. 1. Power cycle the printer. 2. Remove any jammed paper from the trays and fuser unit. 3. Verify the paper type matches the printer specifications. 4. Check for damaged feed rollers or a faulty fuser assembly. Blank pages. 1. Check toner ink cartridge levels and replace if empty. 2. Clean the transfer corona wire. Laser printers. Paper not feeding. 1. Ensure the paper type and size are appropriate. 2. Clean the paper feed rollers with a damp cloth. 3. Restart the printer. 4. Consider replacing a worn-out maintenance kit. Multi-page misfeed. 1. Inspect the separation pad for wear and tear. 2. Avoid feeding excessively thick paper stacks. Error codes. Consult your printer's user manual for specific troubleshooting steps related to the displayed error code. Out-of-memory error. 1. Adjust print spooling settings to limit the number of spooled documents. 2. Restart the print spooler service. 3. In rare cases, upgrade the printer's RAM if possible. No image on display. 1. Check if the printer is in sleep mode. 2. Verify it's powered on and securely connected. 3. Ensure internal cables are properly seated. Print quality issues. Replace toner ink cartridges. Clean or replace corona wires. Laser printers. Replace the fuser unit. Laser printers. Calibrate the printer for optimal inkjet print quality. Other troubleshooting tips. Garbled characters. Use the correct printer driver and check the formatter board or printer interface for issues. Ghosted images. Replace the drum unit or toner cartridge. Inspect the fuser assembly. Grinding noise. Check the toner cartridge for proper installation. Clear any paper jams. Investigate possible carriage stalls. No connectivity. Verify power, cable connections, and the correct printer driver is installed. Check network settings, if applicable, and ensure the printer is set as the default device. Access denied. Confirm that your user account has permission to print on the selected printer. Multiple prints. Pending. Restart stalled documents in the print queue. Restart the print spooler service. Reinstall the printer driver if necessary. Incorrect colors. Check ink toner levels. Run the printer's calibration tool. Verify PostScript compatibility for complex color jobs. Finishing issues. Ensure paper guides are set correctly. Check for jammed staples. Review printer driver settings for stapling or hole punching options. Verify the correct tray is selected for finishing. Incorrect paper size orientation. Double-check paper settings in both the application and the printer itself. Multiple failed jobs. Reset the printer. Analyze the print server for errors if applicable. Clear the print queue. Reconfigure the print spooler service. Unable to install printer. Verify physical connections, IP address for network printers, and that the print spooler service is running. Check for driver updates. Printer maintenance. Regularly perform maintenance using manufacturer-approved cleaning kits and follow their instructions. Reset the printer's maintenance counter after installing a new maintenance kit. Use a toner vacuum to clean up toner spills and compressed air to dust internal components. Refer to the manual for specific cleaning procedures. Maintenance by printer type. The recommended maintenance procedures may vary depending on your printer type: laser, inkjet, thermal, impact, 3D. Consult your printer's user manual for specific guidance. Print jobs and the print spooler. Managing print jobs. Access the print queue through your operating system's printer window to view, pause, prioritize, or cancel print jobs. Print spooling options. Printers can spool, temporarily store print jobs before sending them to the printer. You can choose to print directly to the printer, start printing immediately, or wait until the entire job is spooled. before printing. These options can be adjusted within your operating system's printing settings. Print Spooler Service Management. The Print Spooler service manages the print queue and communication between your computer and the printer. You can manage this service through the Services console, Task Manager, or Command Prompt PowerShell on Windows machines. .7 Untangling the Web, a guide to troubleshooting wired and wireless network issues. Is your internet connection acting up? Fear not. This guide equips you with the knowledge to diagnose and resolve common wired and wireless network problems, ensuring a smooth and stable online experience. Common network woes. Intermittent wireless connectivity. The connection drops in and out frequently. Slow network speeds. Web pages load sluggishly and downloads crawl. Limited connectivity. Certain devices can't connect, or the connection range seems limited. Jitter. Video calls and online gaming suffer from lag and interruptions. Poor voice over IP, VoIP. Quality. Voice calls over the internet experience, choppiness or distorted audio. Port flapping. Network ports constantly switch between up and down states. High latency. There is a significant delay between sending data and receiving a response. External interference. Other electronic devices or environmental factors disrupt the network signal. Troubleshooting your network. No connectivity. Wired connections. Inspect the patch cable for damage and ensure it's securely plugged into both the device and the network port. Verify the network adapter on your computer is enabled. Wireless connections. Check the Wi-Fi switch or button on your laptop or mobile device to ensure it's turned on. Run network diagnostic tools like ipconfig/all and ping commands to identify potential issues. Utilize the built-in network troubleshooter in Windows. Update your network adapter drivers to the latest version. Restart your computer and consider recently installed software or updates that might be causing conflicts. Ensure the corresponding switch or router ports are enabled for wired connections. Power cycle your network equipment, router, modem, by turning them off and on again. For Wi-Fi networks, use third-party programs to locate available networks and diagnose signal strength. Limited and intermittent connectivity. Test connectivity. Use ping commands to test connectivity to your local computer, localhost, router, and external websites. Verify your IP address settings using ipconfig/all. Try releasing and renewing your IP address using ipconfig/release and ipconfig/renew commands. Inspect patch cables. Check the distance between your wireless device and the access point, UAP, and consider resetting the router. Utilize tracer commands to identify potential problem areas along the network path. Low Wi-Fi signal strength. Improve signal strength. Move closer to the wireless access point. Update the software on your wireless adapter and the WAP itself. Adjust the placement of the router and its antennas for optimal signal distribution. Check your router's firmware for signal boost settings. Slow network transfer speeds. Upgrade bandwidth. Consider upgrading your internet service plan if possible. Check your network equipment, router modem, patch cables, and network adapters for functionality and performance issues. Utilize network traffic analysis tools like Wireshark to identify bandwidth hogs. Update and power cycle your network equipment for optimal performance. Close unnecessary programs that might be consuming bandwidth and limit the number of concurrent data streams. High latency and jitter. Reduce network load. Close bandwidth-intensive applications and connections. Move closer to the WAP for wireless connections. Check for wireless channel congestion and external interference from other devices. Configure quality of service, QoS. Settings in your router to prioritize specific types of network traffic, e.g., gaming, video calls, Consider using a jitter buffer to mitigate the effects of fluctuating latency in real-time applications. Whenever possible, prioritize wired connections over wireless for lower latency. Port flapping, wired connection issues. Inspect the patch cable for damage. Ensure both ends are securely connected, and the duplex settings, half duplex or full duplex, match on both the device and network port. Disable power-saving features on your network adapter that might cause connection instability. IP conflicts. Resolve IP conflicts. Manually assign a non-conflicting static IP address to one of the affected devices and reboot both computers. Consider using DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, to automatically assign unique IP addresses to all devices on your network. Link local/APIPA addresses network connectivity issues. Verify network connectivity and ensure the DHCP server is functioning correctly. Try releasing and renewing the IP address using ipconfig/release and ipconfig/renew commands. Unable to connect to websites, flush, DNS, cache. Clear your DNS cache using the ipconfig/flushdns command. Reset TCP IP stack. In extreme cases, you might need to reset the TCP IP stack using the netch-int IP reset command. Consult your operating system's documentation for specific instructions. Advanced troubleshooting, wireless channel. Interference. Utilize Wi-Fi scanning tools to identify congested channels and switch to a less crowded channel on your router. Consider using 5 GHz channels for faster speeds if your devices support them. 5 GHz signals have a shorter range than 2.4 GHz channels. Security software firewalls. Temporarily disable firewalls on security software to see if they are blocking network traffic. Be sure to re-enable them after troubleshooting. Outdated router firmware. Update your router's firmware to the latest version for bug fixes and security patches. Consult your router manufacturer's website for instructions on firmware updates. Network congestion. Manage bandwidth usage by prioritizing important devices and applications. Consider quality of service, QoS settings, on your router to allocate bandwidth effectively. Physical network layout. For wired networks, ensure proper cable routing to avoid interference from electrical wires or other sources. Consider using shielded cables for improved signal quality in noisy environments. Remember, when troubleshooting network issues, follow a systematic approach, starting from the simplest potential causes and progressing towards more complex solutions. Document the steps you take during troubleshooting to aid in identifying the root cause of the problem. Consult your network device manuals and online resources for specific troubleshooting steps and configuration options related to your equipment. Consider seeking assistance from your internet service provider, ISP, or a qualified network technician if you are unable to resolve the issue on your own. There you have it. We just consolidated all the crucial objective areas for the CompTIA A plus Core 1-220-11-01 exam into one Power Pack study session. How are you feeling? Confident? Shaky? Either way, be sure to go back and review any weaker areas. Use this as a reference guide and testing tool in those last days leading up to your exam. You've got this. Put in that last bit of effort, lean on the knowledge from these videos, and you're going to ace that cert. Thank you all for watching and best of luck. Let me know in the comments if you need any other Core 1 or Core 2 study resources.